What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Where's my snare? I'm not getting enough snare in my headphones. What's up, Colin? What up, Rob? What up, Cujo? Been killing golf. Hey, man. That's a good attitude to have. If you go into baseball expecting to lose, it's better than, getting all in love with a team just for them to score 2 runs while the Rockies score 12 or, I don't know. That would never happen. Whatever. Oh, wait. So we have 2 slates per usual lately. A 3-game early, a little appetizer, and then a 9-game main. So 12 games all together for us to get to research it on. So we're gonna do that. While we're doing that, we're gonna be updating the MLB Grind premium spreadsheet, getting some projections in order. What else we gotta do? We gotta get our home run odds updated, yeah. All right, yeah. Hope you guys had a good Sunday. Cap off your weekend. I had a pretty decent day. Crazy thing happened. I don't think I want to mention this in public. But we almost died. Yeah, no, yesterday was kind of something really wild happened yesterday. But luckily my spidey senses had my back. I was able to make it out of there, but could have got a sticky icky. Is this all of them? Marlins, Pirates, Red Sox, I feel like I'm missing some teams here. Oh, Arizona. Let me see something. This feels. Oh, I see what they're doing. I think. Now we gotta know. I got set up in the wrong part of town, man. I really don't know if I should tell this story. There's Arizona. I guess this is right. It was like 7 p.m. last night. And giving a stranger a ride. Say that. And everything about it felt off. And I get to where they need to go. And it's a little rundown, rinky-dink trailer park. All right, whatever. Not judging. As soon as I turn in there, though, I see 2 guys. I thought they didn't have masks. They had sunglasses, bandanas, and hoodies, which might as well have been masks. And I was like, that's not normal. It's 90 degrees. And then the person was like, all right, stop right here, like right next to them. I was like, I'm not stopping right there. And then I could tell, like, they were trying to get me. They're trying to rob me. I don't know what they were doing. They were trying to rob me, at least. And I get out of there, and so I start veering off, about to peel off, and a red car pulls in front of me to block me, and I like swerve out. Or it was like some movie crap, dude. But they didn't follow me. They were up to no good, that's for sure. And then I went to Velvet Taco and had some dinner. Pretty crazy. All right, home run odds updated. What? Shelly's a 150, dude. That's kind of dumb. Anyway, I might have to get us a piece and start carrying, you know what I mean? Little chest holster. All right, we have the home run odds updated. We have all the live data updated. Now, I guess we're just gonna go game by game. So let's go knock out this early slate. Let's talk about the Reds and the Pirates. Reds with a 4.2 run total. Why is that not colored? There we go. Pirates 4. Oh, you know what? We should pull up Mr. Ross weather report. See what we are working with. Orange in Minnesota. Orange in St. Louis. Got to be more careful. Oh, I was. I just knew something was up the whole time, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Nick Lodolo taking on Mitch Keller. Lodolo, 19% K rate so far this season, 10.1% swing and strike rate, 7.3% barrel rate, up against Mitch Keller's 19% K rate, 8.5% swing and strike rate. And the barrel rates are pretty similar. The surface stats are so similar with Mitch Keller having a little higher in the expected ERA, but the question is, like, where did Lodolo's strikeout stuff go? He has just not been that guy, and it's a weird spot because the Pirates are a team that we like to pitch against, especially with pitchers that can get some strikeout stuff. We saw what happened yesterday in a plus park, and on a 3-game slate that involves Ben Brown, Edward Cabrera, Kota Sengai, and Fenway, Hunter Dobbins. You certainly want to take a look at both of these pitchers because both teams have a range of outcomes where they just like aren't that good, and you're likely not going to be that enthralled with pitching Edward Cabrera against the Cubs. So let's see what the freak is going on with Nick Lodolo. So his recent game logs. Obviously I had to like anyway, 3 of the last 4 games, actually Lodolo's overall swing and strike rate has kind of gone up. The Nats game was not there in the double digits, and the first 3 games of the season was not there in double digits, so that's encouraging. Stuff plus all over the place, but 3 of the last 4 or 2 of the last 3 well above the 100 mark. And what is Savant telling me? he's only got one pitch that is really getting whiffs, and it's a curveball. I mean, 18% is not nothing, 15%, but I like to see 30+%. And he is using the curveball second most of any pitch, mainly against righties, or mostly against righties. Maybe not mostly, but had to sneeze. So let's go to check out the pitch report. Oh, we went through this last time. Lodolo, for some reason, on Fangraphs, they're not tracking his curve on the I don't know, like since the beginning of last year. But like those the pitches they are feeding me are just not right. And I get sometimes, you know, a slider can register as a curve in the most extreme example, but he doesn't really do that. His sinker, change, curveball, fastball. So pitch report looks a little funky for him, and that's not really something I can adjust. So, but we can look at how they Pirates react to curveballs, and it is really not good. IKF and Spencer Horwitz in small sample, not the worst. Nick Solak is not even registered. I don't know. I'm somewhat interested in the ballpark. There is some swing and miss stuff in Lodolo. So I'm gonna get to him on a 3-game slate, you know? And then Mitch Keller, being more of a contact pitcher, he's kind of in a problem spot. This Reds team has been exhibiting some power yesterday. I don't know if you guys have seen Will Benson. He is consistently, since being called up, been at the top of the bomb detector, and he just keeps hitting homers. Today, and I think Great American Ballpark has also helped. But today, he comes in with a 3.72 bomb rating. This is a 15% probability. And this park is much, much tougher to hit him out at, with a 31% less than league average in terms of, or actually 5% less than league average for lefty power. But he's a curious case here because he has obvious pop, and he is homered, I believe, in 4 games straight now. So pull up his, oh my god. All right, so when it's grayed out, that means he hasn't had enough qualifying plate appearances, but you see he's on track to be extremely red. Now his problem does appear to be the strikeouts, and Mitch Keller is not really an artist for the K's, yeah. And it looks like he really struggles with breaking balls. Kind of the same with fastballs, but not as much. And we go check out Mitch Keller, and so far this season and going into the last 3 seasons, an aggregate, you know, 1.5, 1.4 home run per 9 to lefties, high line drive rate, and this year only striking out lefties at a 14% clip, and has never really sustained a double-digit swing and strike rate. So the unicorn ride here, the magic likely comes to an end soon, but matchup wise, the spot for Will Benson is just about as good as it's been in the last couple days for him to kind of keep the magic going. So we have to at least mention him. I mean, this game looks kind of stupid, and he's still really cheap with this upside, obviously, in his bat. Man, he hit 2 of them yesterday. And again, all these games in Great American Ballpark, PNC is a little bit different. If nothing else, you know, it's a different batter's eye. But I have to mention that if you guys haven't been aware of what Will Benson is doing, he is certainly exhibiting some power, and maybe the 40% K rate might be a little bit unfair. We'll go check out his minor league stuff. In the minors, 800 OPS, yeah. 898 OPS, yeah. Split that up against righties. 36 strikeouts and 100. Oh no, that's the majors. We playing Ober tonight? I haven't really looked at that. Ober's on the Twins, right? I think we just saw potential problem with that game, so that's not good. But we'll definitely dissect that once we get there. Anyway, Will Benson, a lot of power. So I think I'm gonna go Red second. Then Pirates Substack, then Mitch Keller. But I guess those are probably interchangeable. All right, that's game number one. Oh, we gotta put in a pitcher projection for that. All right, so for Lodolo, let's give him a 20% K rate. Mitch Keller, let's give him a 19. Well, actually, Lodolo's at least striking out righties more, but there's more righties, so I'll live with that 20%. Let's go 3.5% walk rate. At least he's throwing strikes, not wasting them. Mitch Keller also throwing strikes. We'll check out our outs. 17.5 on both. A little lean on over for both of them too. Mitch Keller's get a lot of implication here. I might be more privy to swap the ranking here, which is Mitch Keller, then Pirates Substack, then I'll give them both two extra points in the QS column, and we'll go from there. Next up, Chicago Cubs and the Miami Marlins. We'll see if the roof in Lone Depot is going to be shut. Like every time I do this, I get like, oh, okay, closed. Listed as closed. We'll put roof listed as closed. 4.9 run total for the Cubs of Chicago. Marlins a 3.8. Ben Brown, what can Brown do for you? Well, he could probably do some good things against the Miami Marlins, as he's rocking a 26.2% overall K rate this season, 12.2% swing and strike rate, and keeping the barrels down, lower than last year, on pace to sustain that. And he's facing a Marlins team that has aggregate 1-4 K rate in this projected lineup. Agustin Ramirez, Otto Lopez, Javier Sanoja, not big strikeout guys, but man, you can make up the difference with Connor Norby, Kyle Stowers, and Matt Mervis, and even Graham Pauley. So good spot, good park for Ben Brown to go out there and drop one. He struggles right now with batting average to both sides of the plate, and especially against lefties, a 1.42 home run per nine with a 305 batting average. Now, we might be able to give him some slack, as his 4 homers, 3 of them happened home at Wrigley. And you just never know with Wrigley what's going into that. But he hasn't allowed more than 1 homer in a game, right? So that's good. Keeping righties at bay more so, but an elevated line drive rate. That's been consistent going back to the beginning of last year. But just been pretty slippery this year about keeping the barrel away from the ball. 7% is not like elite, but it's a little bit, I don't know, 8.5, 9, 10%. 10%, then I'm starting to look really, really hard. But I think these are very serviceable, just fine numbers on a 3-game slate to take against the Miami Marlins. So we're gonna go Ben Brown, top of the interest ranking here. And then running it back, man, Edward Cabrera, sub 20% K rate, sub 8% swing and strike rate on the season. A lot of call strikes, so he's not completely lost the difference between swing and strike rate to C strike. And then just under an 8% barrel rate, but the whip is crazy and the walk rate is crazy. 10, 14, 13% walk rate the last 3 years to lefties. He's been better, believe it or not, this year, which 10.4%. But lefties are an extreme problem for him to throw strikes and to keep them in the park with an elevated xFIP over 4 aggregate the last 3 seasons combined. And this season, he's also added a struggle to get righties out. So this is a elite spot for the Cubs offense, which is one of the best in baseball, to kind of jump on Edward Cabrera early and then attack a beatable bullpen. So Cubs looking really, really good. I bet the Cubs are probably the most, I would say, interesting stack, but we do get Fenway with 2 solid teams as well. But the Cubs just make too much sense, right? PCA, Kyle Tucker, dipping into the power stats, the walk stats. Both guys are Swiss Army knives, right? A lot of people don't realize it about Kyle Tucker, but he can steal some bags, and we know PCA can steal some bags, and he's also hitting bombs. So that's an elite, like, single entry handcuff right there. It's going to cost you a combined 11K. But 8,500 for Ben Brown is just like ridiculous on a 3-game slate, right? So, yeah, I don't use the word free square, but if Ben Brown, if it was like dynamic pricing and Ben Brown was 10K on this slate, I would be playing Ben Brown just because the matchup and the stuff is enough there. So even though you're getting 11,000 for PCA Kyle Tucker, I just chopped 2,000 off of that and say, yeah, I would have paid that extra 2 for Ben Brown. So I'll take the savings, right? I really have no interest in Edward Cabrera here. Even in a 3-game slate, I'll be pretty concentrated on the Cubs. Yeah. Dude, is there no mini max? Dude, I would love one of these streams where there's an obscure small slate before the main slate to do a like a small max entry, just to kind of show the process there. But it doesn't look like there's anything, like there's really no contest even on bigger stakes worth playing on this thing. What about a single entry? That'd be kind of fun though, to start building some more lineups on stream. Anything in the lobby for this? There's a single entry, $5. Oh, that doesn't excite me, man. $4 for $100 at first. Dang, dude. Oh well, what are you gonna do? What up, Jay? Eric. What about Fanduel? Think anything fun for this early? Okay, I broke Fanduel. Lit. What happens when I try to log into Fanduel? Access denied. Is Fanduel down or am I tripping? No. Yep. Oh, there we go. Found it. I just had to refresh. Let's go. Fanduel's kind of struggling too. Pre-lobbies. Dang. Maybe we'll do it for the main slate. Maybe. I like the smaller slates for scripting, but well. What can you do? All right. So Brown Cubs. There's a case to be made for a couple of these Marlins bats, especially if you want to continue this lefty trend with the elevated average. I don't think he's going to stay in the 305 average allowed. I feel like that's got to be high BABIP woes. Yeah, 423 BABIP. He's got a high BABIP against righties too. It's actually been, yeah, it's a lot of home stuff too. 469 BABIP at home versus lefties, 432 at home versus righties. So no surprise there. Wrigley is a weird one. On the road, we can get a better idea. Overall road BABIP 286, 307 xFIP with a 21% K rate. Carry dip, but that's not really what I was looking for. But I'll leave it at that. Ben Brown Cubs. You want to cherry pick a couple of these Marlins bats on a 3-game slate. Obviously, there's pop in Agustin Ramirez. If you want to attack Ben Brown's ability to allow lefty homers, there's a little bit of pop in Jesus Sanchez's bat. Stowers as well, but the K rates kind of alarm me there. So Brown Cubs. Let's get a projection here for Brown. Let's give him a 25%. K rate for Mr. Cabrera. We'll go 20% to Ben Brown walk rate. Actually, we can give Brown 26%. Yeah. Brown walk rate. Let's go 8.5. Cabrera. We're gonna go. I'm gonna give him a solid 10. 16.5 and 15.5. So we can't really give Brown anything for a QS. I might throw on 1 point to compensate for like win points, because he's a minus 170, and I do expect him to jump on Cabrera early. I'll just give him 1. He gonna do 1. And then we get to the last game of the early slate, Mets at the Red Sox. Anybody, what the Mets do last night? I don't even remember. Is somebody? I don't know who they played against. I'm sure they won. I'm sure they won whatever they played. Red Sox lineup: Duran, Devers, Bregman, Willier, Abreu. And I'm sure the Red Sox have been good the last couple days too. So two teams that I'm sure hot, talented, you know. So this should be entertaining. I'm a hater. Senga versus Dobbins. Senga certainly has the range of outcomes to get through this lineup with some strikeouts. The bottom half of this Red Sox lineup really becomes alluring for chasing strikeouts. You're not running after Devers and Duran and even Bregman to get strikeouts, and you also have to juggle their incredible just hit tool anyway, high OPSs, high WRC pluses. But once you get past the cleanup spot, you can make up some ground here and maybe set a table. Now you're juggling with the talent, you're juggling with the ballpark, but it's also a 3-game slate, and you got to click some names. So I think in the grand scheme of a 3-game slate, Senga certainly makes sense, but he's been one of those pitchers for a long time that if you need small slate leverage, and Senga is like chalky, I think he has some of the elements I look for in possible failure, and it really starts with the walk rate, especially against lefties. So if he just goes out there, has that game where he's, you know, not throwing strikes, and then when he does allow some hits, like a team like the Red Sox can get some weird Fenway hits, then I kind of like looking the other way or even grabbing some bats against him. But you also have to like paint a picture of how is he not potentially optimal or help you win a tournament. And I think I could paint several scenarios where one, Ben Brown's better, and then Lodolo and even Mitch Keller could be serviceable as well. And not only that, both these guys on DraftKings come in much cheaper. I mean, $6,500 for Mitch Keller, that's an expensive bat at that point. And could I get to 12 to 15 in a common range outcome versus a tough game from Senga maybe being 12-15? I think that's not like insane, right? Mitch Keller certainly has that positive range of outcomes where we've even seen as high as 25. So 6,500 just feels like a little too cheap and enough of a low price to compensate for maybe not your favorite matchup. But neither team has astronomical run totals, and if you look at it, both the Mets and the Red Sox, especially the Red Sox, since we're talking about Senga, have higher run totals. So I think that you can make a real case here if you fear Senga grabbing too much ownership, that could be your strategy to attacking the slate a little bit different. I'm gonna start our in-game interest rankings with the Mets. Dobbins, a sub 20% K rate, has really struggled with lefties so far. 2.38 homer per nine, 370 average allowed, and a 31% line drive rate. Lindor, Soto, Nimmo, all guys that take advantage of that. And then Pete Alonso's pretty much matchup proof, even though Dobbins has been really good at keeping righties off the bases. So let's go Mets 1. Let's go Senga 2. Go Red Sox, and I'm not that enthralled with Dobbins. So we'll leave it at that. Let's get a projection here, and then we do have a couple lineups, the Marlins and the Reds, to update. I don't think they're that different though. So for Senga, we'll give him a 24% K rate. Dobbins, we'll give him a 19.3. Walk rate here for Senga is 8.5. Dobbins, let's give him a 4. Let's go outs. 17.5, 15.5. All right. I do like. I'm gonna give Senga 2 for possible win, possible QS. And I'm being real stingy with those bonus points for Fanduel. Kind of a gut thing, yeah. All right, so that should spit us a projection for that. It does. Get this Reds lineup: TJ Friedl, Santiago Espinal, Ellie De La Cruz, Austin Hayes, Gavin, Spencer, Benson, Stevenson, Matt McClay. So literally as projected. Well, that's good. Not doing any extra typing. Jesus Sanchez, Augustine Ramirez, Otto Lopez batting third here for the Marlins. Stowers, Jesus, Eric Wagaman, Kananobi, Liam Hicks, Eric Keel, Javier Sanoja. Check something. My phone. Hello. Not sure what I have done with my phone. Oh, it's in my pocket. I'm stupid. Get logged in on PrizePicks. Anybody want to fire off some props tonight? Jesus. There's a couple props that I'm thinking of in my brain right now. I'm thinking we can go make a list. So let's pop open PrizePicks. What's up, Mike? What's up, Don? Playing the main slate Fanduel. They gave me a free $5. Let's go, Mike. It begins. All right, PrizePicks. All right, so here's what I was thinking, guys. Edward Cabrera doesn't throw a lot of strikes, especially the lefties. Tucker, Armstrong, even though like Suzuki and Michael Busch strike out a lot, they also walk a lot, which means they can get deeper in counts. So what I would be interested in is, do we get less than 16 and a half first inning pitches from Edward Cabrera, or do we get that line? And it's at 16 and a half, so I would kind of be interested in the over here. Show. Really a dog. So let's make a little list here. PrizePicks likes. Let's go. First inning, Cabrera over 16 and a half FPS, which we could handcuff to holy crap, these are so low. PCA's at 9.5. God dang. But that's like an elite spot for him, right? If he doesn't hit a homer, you walk him, he can still bag. The same with Kyle Tucker. Something to keep in mind. We might throw a single game stick out there. Anyway. Or 16 and a half pitches, not FPS. Jesus. So we'll go with that. Really was nothing from the first game that I cared about. And then Hunter Dobbins. I don't expect the Mets to go weird with their lineup, but they did kind of have a high intensity 3-game stretch in the Bronx, and they just played last night. So if you were going to need to rest somebody, I could see it, but I don't want to project that. But pre-flop though, Soto Lindor looks pretty good here against Dobbins and his lefty splits. I guess just looking at that, so it was a 7.5. That seems low enough in Fenway. Although Soto got the most free, fluky BS stolen base in that series. Well, whatever, dude. Whatever. All right, let's move on to the main slate. Let's unlock this early slate for MLB Grind premium members. Houston is not this slate. Hello. Cincy, Pittsburgh, Chicago. Mother. Shish kebab. Where was that? Ace Ventura. Chicago. Chicago. All right, Mets came at the top of the stack rating, slightly above the Cubs here. I think that might be park induced. And then the Red Sox, and then bottom half is Marlins, Cincy, and Pittsburgh. Cincy's actually lower than I would have expected, but to be fair, when you look at their WRC plus column, it is not that great in this split since the beginning of last year. Plus, it's not Great American Ballpark, so not that crazy to get back behind the 6,500 Mitch Keller. All right, now we can jump into main slate. And we start with the Astros and the Rays. We're back in a single A ballpark. No, the Steinbrenner Field. And that's very, very notable because the country has starting to see some rise in temperatures, and Tampa is close to 90 degrees. I don't know if Roth mentioned it. It looks like he didn't. Well, that's very favorable hitting weather. On top of a favorable hitting park. So I'm going to give them... And there's a little breeze out the right. I'm going to give them something here for a weather boost. I'll go half a point for now just to do something. But I think it's very fair to, like, give them even higher. Colton Gordon pitching for the Astros. He'll be up against Pepiot. We do have a Rays lineup. Yandy Diaz, Jose Caballero, Christopher Morel, Junior Caminero, Brandon Lau, Danny Jansen, Curtis Mead, Taylor Walls, Cameron Meisner. Green light that. They have a 5-run total, so all eyes on me. Astros still living life without Yordan Alvarez. Pepiot, though, this season has not been super elite against righties, and that'll be a focus because the Astros, we always hyper focus on the opposing pitcher's righty splits as they offer just Victor Caratini as a different batter's box. I mean, the dirt in the left-handed batter's box is just clean when the Astros are in play. So if he struggles to get these righty numbers to look like they did the last 2 seasons with the K rates and the average allowed, the 4.25 xFIP, low K rate, high average, high home run per 9 on top of the ballpark, on top of the weather boost here, it'd be a fun spot for the Astros to surprise some people. And then inversely, Colton Gordon didn't look great in his first call up. Let's go check out minor league stuff. We did look at this last time, and I think we kind of decided, like, yeah, you can get strikeouts, but it's not like insane, about a strikeout per inning, which we always expect a rough transfer from the minor to the majors. The walks exist, and the average allowed, especially righties, a 300 plus average allowed in the minors in 30.1 innings this season, and 7 walks in 30 innings, attribute to almost 1.5 whip, and 4 homers in 30 innings. So like I said, you see over 1 in 10, you start looking. So this is a good spot for the Rays, without a doubt. And oh my god, the Rays Fanduel prices are kind of crazy. They're not like extremely better on DraftKings either, but the Rays look like a fun stack. You're gonna have to deal with some low WRC pluses, some high K rates, and Colton Gordon can get strikeouts, but the major league level, there's just always this transition period for the atypical call up here. So I'm interested in this game, really. Astros bullpen been better than the Rays. Both these bullpens have just been fine. Like, these are not like the Angels and Marley, like those type of arms. But this ballpark can certainly make a difference with this weather. So I'm in on offenses. So let's go. Rays sound a little bit more fun to me right now. Then we go Astros. We do kind of deal with Kevin Cash's platoon once the lefty comes out. What? Let's see what the Houston bullpen's looking like. Jesus. Looks like everyone's probably available. We haven't seen Hader and Abreu throw back-to-back games in a while, and they both threw yesterday, so it's possible they try to stay away from him today. But we do have 3 lefties that would be due up, I think, to see some action here. Brian King, Steven Okert, and Souza. Okay. So we might be able to hang around some of these guys. And I don't really think the guys we want to play are big platoon risk. So, man, what happened to Chris Morel? Jesus. I guess he is right. He's better. I think we're fine. I think I'm fine. Rays, Astros. Don't really want to get to either pitcher. If I did, it would be Pepe out, obviously. 1 in 5 K rate, but this is just not a high K team. Sub 20% aggregate, and I'm assuming a lot of risk. The slate's gonna give me some upside later on, even though we got to navigate some weather. Right now, I'm not gonna get there. So we'll go Rays, Astros. Let's go formulate some projections. Colton Gordon, I'm gonna give him an 18% just to give it to him, because he could be at 25 or 33, really. And Pepiot, let's go 21.5. Jesus. Let's go 12. And let's go 8. I'm assuming Colton's not getting 15 innings implied yet, but or 15 outs, 15 innings. Jesus, 14.5. Hey, it's kind of. I'll give him the 14.5, but there's a little steam on the over. And that's same for Pepiot. So . I'm not super confident in either pitcher, so we'll go with that. That's our projection for that. Circulate on to the next game. Orioles and the Brewers. Dean Creamer taking on Quinn Priester. What a weird season it's been so far for the Orioles. A weird week as well. Not a lot of people are coming in as dogs to the Brewers lately. But here we are. They're not massive dogs, but yeah. Priester, a 1.56 whip, 4.37 expected ERA, and just a 15% K rate. Really struggling against lefties. And stop me if you heard this one before, but my God, this is going to project so well for Jackson Holliday and Gunnar Henderson, who've been the bright spots. We did see Tyler O'Neill get put on the IL today, so we don't have to deal with that bat. And I hate this because the freaking Orioles always look pretty good. And then they always Oriole it up, but I'll certainly be somewhat intrigued with the thought of these Orioles lefties, especially towards the top of the lineup. And I'll be curious to see what that lineup is. So let me see what the Holiday, Mountcastle, Gunnar. Is Laureano just a straight swap there for O'Neill? Erstad, Ramon Urias. All right, that's not confirmed. That's just like a adjusted, projected. And then Churio, weird. The other day he was batting 6th. Then he put him back in the 2 spot. Looked a little bit better. We'll see if he leads off here. Both pitchers been extreme contact pitchers. With Creamer, you kind of know what you're going to get with him. He has a lot of higher average to lefties this year, but you know, he just kind of go eat some innings, get us through it. You're going to let some up. It happens. With Priester, kind of the same, but man, he is just not getting lefties out at all. Walking them at a high clip, giving up a lot of power, and not striking them out. So we're going offenses here, and it pains me to do this. The Orioles at the top of my interest ranking, and I'm talking Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, O'Hearn as my favorite 3. Adley exists, and then Cedric Mullins has been okay. So it's gonna be a fine park for them, in a park that plays better to the lefty bats as well. And then inversely, I'm somewhat interested in the Brewers against Creamer. But the Brewers are having kind of, I think the Brewers, how do I say this? It feels like they're having a similar season as the Orioles. But people aren't hating on them because they weren't expected to be great. The Orioles get the media because they were kind of expected to be young and fun. And again, they've been injury plagued, and there's some bad luck involved, but it's like worst case scenario results right now, while the Brewers are 3 games below 500. I hate myself for this, but I gotta see what we're getting on Gunnar Henderson. 7.5. Jesus. Him and Seiya Suzuki, man. They hate me. They always look so good. Gunnar Henderson, where are you at? I know you're up here somewhere. Not as high as I thought it'd be, but 15% implied probability by the bomb detector. Let me make a list of hitters I'm interested in. Gunnar Henderson, Jesus, type better. PCA, Kyle Tucker. I'm somewhat interested in Jackson Holliday right now. Somewhat. The memory on it going to last year, you know, kind of tapers the expectation, but man, he's been so much better this year. this year versus last year, he's cut his strikeouts by over 10%, increased his average by almost 100 points. OBP shot up, the slug has shot up, and his WRC plus has gone from 63 to 128, and we split that up. Look at his body of work against righties, a 286 average, 6 homers. Whereas last year, 213 average, 4 homers on the season. He's already got 6 this season. That was 150 at bats, and this year is 112. So that the trajectory of him so far is so good, you know. And then backing that up, let's go check out his Savant page. Looks solid. Looks solid. So, I'm gonna add Jackson Holiday to the list. You know what happens when you make extreme improvements year over year, huh? You know what happens? You're gonna match up against a beatable pitcher and a terrible bullpen? You just made the list. So far I like these guys as standouts. Maybe we can find something for them. Inversely, Dean Creamer been pretty bad against lefties, specifically this season. Overall, should be a good spot for Christian Yelich. I don't got that feeling in my bad knee. But Yelly, man, his average has dropped to under 200. What happened, brother? Not as enthralled, so I'm not gonna add him to the list. But let's go Orioles, Brewers. Hope for some sloppy baseball. Creamer, I'm gonna give him an 18%. Do I give him that 18%? Do I do it? I probably shouldn't. I'm trying to give him a little bit for his last year, but he's already 15 innings in, or 50 innings in. So go 15 and a half. Priester, give him also 15 and a half. Jesus. All right, I'll give you 16 green. All right, I'm a nice guy. Let's give him a 6.5% walk rate. Priester, 10 walks lefties at a decent clip too. That'll be half and half. So I'm gonna give him a 14% walk rate. Let's check out our outs. 17.5 for Creamer. 15. We'll give Priester 15. And we'll go from there. It's awful quiet in this Pentecostal church of a chat room, man. What's up, chat? How we doing? How we living? Hope you've been all right, everybody. Happy Monday. Moving on to the Mariners and the White Sox. White Sox lineup is out. Chase, Mike Dratha, Matt Tice, Miguel Vargas. Maybe it's a good thing you guys ain't distracting me with movies today, and I can move at a decent clip. I don't know, man. Andrew Vaughn batting 6, dude. I feel like out of all of their suck, he's been not the worst. All right, this song sucks. Next, thank you. Mariners have a 4.8 run total out there in Chicago. 3.4. Did Mr. Ross say anything about this game? Chicago, yes. Like Boston, it's chilly with winds blowing across the field. Not in, not out. So yeah, we talked about Tampa being close to 90 degrees. This game is in the 55 degrees out there in a spacious, more spacious guaranteed rate. But the Mariners still pretty good. The White Sox still pretty bad. Davis Martin, just a 16% K rate. That becomes a problem against a good offense where their biggest issue is strikeouts. We, dipped that memory to the beginning of last year, and our WRC pluses don't look that great. But as we've kind of talked about a lot this season, when we shorten the memory to just this season, the Seattle Mariners pretty good. They come in 6th in Team WRC plus. We look at like homers. They come in 6th in home runs. They come in 10th in runs, which isn't crazy. They come in 8th in stolen bases. So like there's enough stats there that we attack for DFS, home runs, stolen bases, that we're interested in. A lot of times where we see them struggle is against those high K team or high K pitchers, and Seattle 8th in strikeouts. Well, Davis Martin not here to strike you out. It's not what he does. 8% swing and strike rate so far this season, a 10.5% barrel rate. Really struggling to get lefties out, and a 1.3 home run per 9 to lefties as well. Now he is more of a ground ball pitcher than not, but that doesn't mean much in this case, because he's not been super elite at getting outs, and he's not really great at any one thing. So my eyes open up for Jorge Polanco here, and really all these guys, but Polanco, since the beginning of last year, big strikeout stuff. 2 righties, but this year, man, his bat has looked really, really good. With a 320 average against righties this year, all of his homers have come against righties. And if we batted ball this up, sorry, that's like a 40% fly ball rate to righties, a 54% pull rate, a 40% hard contact rate. That's what you want. We go pull up his Savant. That's a lot of red. You know what I mean? That's a lot of red. It looks really good in this matchup against Mr. Davis Martin. He also has a 25.5% pull plus air percentage, which is a stat that I made up years ago, but I didn't call it that. Whatever. So I imagine he's going to look somewhat decent in the bomb detector. Now that the pullback here is guaranteed rate, not really a massive home run boost for lefties. It's not good weather, and the wind is kind of neutral. But I think it's a good spot to expect Jorge Polanco to at least get on base a couple times in that particular matchup. Polanco grades in 359 on the bomb detector, 14% implied probability based on that number. But I'm in there. Could we get him at like 6.5 or fantasy points? Probably not, right? Oh God, it's happening. Tough stretch of opponents here, San Diego and New York. So this, game log's gonna look a little rough. But I'm interested. And then dipping into this White Sox bullpen. Yesterday saw Steven Wilson, Miguel Castro, and Isert. Likely don't see any of those guys. I also don't know that I expect Vossel to pitch today after throwing 46 pitches on Saturday. So Jordan Leisure, maybe Cam Boozer, probably Gomez, maybe Schuster. So 1 lefty, maybe 2 lefties. But Polanco's a switchy. I'm looking for Leisure, and Leisure has a 5.48 xFIP to lefties. It's not impossible for Steven Wilson to throw today either. And then Gomez 5.76 xFIP to lefties. So Gomez and Leisure seem like the 2 most likely to pitch today, if I had to guess. And those are attackable pitchers. So let's go Mariners on our interest ranking. It does a lot. I'm gonna add Jorge Polanco to the list of hitters I'm somewhat interested in today. We'll put out a projection here for Castillo. What up, Pojan? What up, EDC? You play King of the Diamond on DK? I have no idea what that is. Like that Chevelle song, where's the Jesus? Missed one live stream, no Chinese restaurant background. Jesus. Yo, I found out. Well, I didn't find out. I drove by the movie theater yesterday. There was a Korean barbecue place, but it looked like it closed. So it looks like this other one's about to open though. Now I gotta get it for the memes. The memes streaming. Bomb detector EDC so far. And I'm still going game by game. There still might be some weather to adjust. Shocker, Shohei Ohtani at the top. But you gotta pay an insane number. I mean, plus 150 is diabolical. And even Eugenio Suarez, who's number 2. I mean, wow. Christian Walker's kind of high up here, actually. Now I look at it. But yeah, a lot of Dodgers, a lot of D-backs so far. We'll keep sweeping. I'm back on my ball. And then we didn't really talk too much about Louis Castillo here. His K rate has diminished 6% from last year to this year. 10.1% swing and strike rate. We'll try and dig some reasons to be excited here because it's the White Sox in a pitcher's park. And I mean, if you would have asked me what in March, like, hey gun, you get the White Sox, you get Castillo, it's 50 degrees, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm all in, that's the spot. But man, this year Castillo has been kind of rough. Stuff plus is a career low 95. Go game log, swing and strike rate, and stuff plus. But stuff plus last couple games. Yankees 108, season best. That's encouraging. Like discipline, 13% swing and strike rate. You brought it. And then we got a 7.4%. I think we talked about this is a weird game where maybe it wasn't 0, but it wasn't a lot. And then we got 18%. So it's kind of all over the road. I think we got to trust the process here and pitch against the White Sox. We just have to. I mean, this team sucks. There's a lot of strikeouts to be had, 24.3% K rate. So I'm going to throw Castillo in the blender. Matter of fact, I'll probably rank him above the Mariners. But understand, you can make a case against being that happy to play him. But man, I don't know. I'm seeing enough glimmers of hope here in the last couple games for Castillo, and it's the White Sox. So also that I mentioned it's the White Sox because if you didn't, it's the White Sox. I gotta take it. And if the White Sox smash Castillo, I just gotta live with that. $150 could be Ohtani 3+ base. Yeah, no, I've been telling people that. People sending me screenshots of them. And oh my God, my boy Cam the other day, where the D-backs were like minus 450. And Ohtani at the time, I think he was like plus 190 or whatever. I made a sarcastic joke in the Discord. And I was like, oh snap, time to parlay this Ohtani plus 150 and D-backs minus. The son of a gun did it. He took a 164 and minus 405 to get plus 229, and I'll be darned if it didn't hit. But make no mistake about it, this is a horrendous bet. But man, What a ridiculous number. Wilmer Flores was the last winner. That was a 5K bonus bets. Dang. So split of 1 million if you pick the right guy to dinger on the team who scores the most runs. Split up in bonus bets. Oh. So the right guy, so the team that scores the most runs, and it could be, obviously if the team scores the most runs, they probably have multiple homers. So it could be any of those guys. That's interesting. No, I haven't seen that. I don't even know if I'm eligible for something like that in Texas. We have weird rules. Is that a sportsbook promo? What is this? Skip. There we go. If it's a sport, I don't see it on the lobby. So if it's a sportsbook thing, I can't do it. All right, Castillo Mariners. Let's pull out a projection here. Castillo, I'm gonna give him a 20% carry rate. Davis Martin, I'm gonna give him 16%. Walk rate here for Castillo. Give him 9.5. Davis Martin, give him a 7. $15.5 and 18. I'm gonna give Castillo 3.5 QS and win for the Fanduel bonus. Pirates line came in. Since it's on the early slate, I do want to get that adjusted. And no O'Neal Cruz again. So Nick Lodolo looks slightly better, even though it was a platoon advantage. We also just got an Astros lineup. Get that in. I don't think there was any surprises in the Astros. Pena, Isaac Paredes. Little revenge game there for Paredes. Slightly different lineup. Slightly. Christian Walker's looking good with the memory, but I wonder if I close that memory to just this season. Like Rowdy Tellez plus 600, 2 bases. Oh, his bomb is plus 600, 2 bases, 195. Rowdy's been kind of rough, but yeah, he's like all or nothing, yeah. But I like those kind of guys against contact pitchers. But that part, like I said, that park is going to be a problem. But I'm not running from it because of the matchup. Let's get over to Target and Target Field, where the Guardians and Twins are doing battle. Go refresh Mr. Ross reports if he added anything. Lowering the risk just a bit here because models are coming in a touch later with the rain. Still think we could see an early postponement. Still think rain will likely be a problem, but I'm now leaning towards a dry start to the game with rain building in as the game goes on. So throw an orange here in solidarity with Kevin Roth. Let's do a 3.6 run total. Let's do a 4.1. And then let's go weather risk. And then let's give Mr. Roth a link to his stuff. So if it starts and then rains, you might get yourself a cheeky complete game if they postpone it, or if they just call it after like 5 innings, right? If they just don't start on time, then it looks like we worry. Yeah. Waiting on a package today, so I keep looking down. Okay, so with that said, Logan Allen versus Bailey Ober is our matchup. We're not playing Logan Allen. 17% K rate for him. This version of the Twins lineup is incorrect. Remember, Correa and Buxton kind of butted heads here. So let me adjust the projected lineup just a little bit. But the Twins have been pretty magical as far as winning a lot, even after Buxton and Correa. Also, Carson McCuster. There's a fun name and fun stats. We talked about Will Benson earlier. One tweet here by the TJ Stats account. This guy has a lot of power, but a lot of whiff at the same time. 33.5% whiff rate, a 30% contact rate, or excuse me, 30% K rate. But when he is touching the ball, 16.3% barrel rate, 60% hard contact rate, and just a lot of power. So I think the big league, if he continues that, the league is going to figure that out sooner than later. But Logan Allen is just not a big strikeout guy to begin with. Sub 17% K rate this season and a 7% swing and strike rate. So if you do get Carson McCusker, who is looks like he's not on DraftKings. Oh, he is. Okay, so he's 2K. I guess he was added. Bare bones min priced. And I guess he had a pinch hit yesterday. He could be a fun value click that no one really knows who he is. In the bottom of the lineup. Again, we're dealing with rain. He's the home guy. Blah 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 blah. But there's certainly some power to be had there, and Logan Allen with a 10% barrel rate this season versus those metrics makes a lot of sense. And Logan Allen, maybe not as elite as other big league pitchers. So let's rank out. Man, I don't know if I want to write Twins right there. I don't really know what to do with this game, dude. I know I don't want to play Logan Allen. I'm somewhat interested in Bailey Ober. Guarding his team doesn't scare me too much. There's a couple bats I respect. Steven Kwan, J-Ram. But there's some strikeouts to be had here. And you could get that cheeky CG. But overall, though, on a 9-game slate, if you guys say you can't play everybody, is this game the worst to look the other way on? I'd rather cherry pick here. Let Carson McCuster fall where he may fall at bare bones min. If J-Ram and Quan hit a lineup here and there, cool. But it's just hard to be super enamored with either lineup, especially with impending rain where you might not get the maximum implied at-bats anyway. So I think I'm gonna just leave it and just let them fall where they might. We do have to fill out a projection though. I'm gonna give Logan a 17%, Bailey 19%. So 10% on the walk right there. Bailey Ober 6%. And do we even have outs by the books for either of these? Probably not, all right? So I'm gonna give them both 15.5. Just as a baseline number. We'll go from there. What up, Michael? Hey, twins. Ellie. Bomb +5. Dang, Pojen, you just throwing, making it rain on these home run. What up, Justin? Anything stand out? I'm making a short list here of hitters I want to find something for on PrizePicks here in a little bit. Henderson, Pisay, Tucker, Holiday, Polanco. And then first inning, Edward Cabrera over 16.5 pitches. That's what stands out. Nothing in that game I care about. Mariners do have a high walk rate here too, but Davis Martin, the thing with contact pitchers and pitch counts is like they're not really pitching for strikeouts, so I don't expect them to use some pitches like that. So I don't want to take advantage. I don't want to try that with Martin. Here, what up, G Money? And even though you're late, I've been slowly pushing the start time back. I was doing 1 my time, then I did 1:15, and today we did 1:30 my time. Really? Wow, we've been on the air this long. And the way I space, because I've been getting off the air and then I'm sitting around for like 90 minutes. It's just like a weird time. I feel like I'm gonna try this time for a little bit. We're getting more lineups, and then more of you guys are around at this time than at 1, so that helps. I love bomb bets with 2 bases just in case. So what do you? Oh, so what you're saying is if you like a guy for a homer, you're not betting the homer, you're betting the bases. Is that what you're saying, or you do both to hedge? What's that? I'm with that. That's, you know, kind of do that with PrizePicks where we take the fantasy points, because you're never getting true home run odds really on PrizePicks for the most part. For the most part. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Oh, both. Okay, but it's separate, right? You're not laddering or whatever. Let's go to Busch Stadium. Cardinals hosting the Tigers. Tigers, the best team in baseball. That's just a crazy sentence, man. Tyler Montero taking on Sonny Gray as our matchup here. Take a peek back at Kevin Roth. I think he mentioned this. Yellow-orange. This whole storm line, the same one impacting Minnesota, this looks to be moving a hair slower than models were showing this morning. That means in St. Louis, we may just have time to get a full game in before storms arrive, leaving a hint of orange in for now in case we run into late inning trouble. If they do have to delay late game, they aren't coming back out and finishing. That being said, I'm not leaning more towards the game finishing before the storm arrives. I'm not leaning. So much like the aforementioned Minnesota game, we might get a cheeky complete game. But neither actually Sonny Gray is definitely live to go deep. Yeah, let's go weather risk Roth report. Then I'm gonna go, let's go this color, whatever that is. Let's just pick this one. Sonny Gray so far this season, 1 of 4 K rate. He has a 4.52 expected ERA. That's not what you want. Allowing righties to hit at a much higher average than the last 2 seasons, with a much lower strikeout rate in the last 2 seasons, especially from last year. 2+ home run per 9. Elevated line drive rate. The ground ball's not there. Lost 15% of ground ball rate to righties so far. Maybe he starts finding that back. And then lefties getting to him as far as hitting some bombs. high line drive rate, really both sides of the plate, and that's been something that's sustained for a couple seasons now to both sides of the plate. So that's alarming. This Tigers team said better than the eye perceives, and Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, even Glaber. There's a lot of names here that might take advantage of some of those numbers. With that said, it is a pitcher-friendly park, not unlike Comerica, right? So it's not impossible for the Tigers to keep it going, but I do kind of want to lean into some Sonny Gray here, because I do think that cheap complete game is a range of outcome. I'm gonna put Sonny Gray on the interest ranking, and then Montero I'm really not intrigued with. No strikeout stuff since the beginning of last year to chase on a 9-game DFS main slate, and the whip is high too, walking lefties at a high clip and a high average allowed to both sides. So if this was in a different park and I could feel confident in deeper at bats here, I'd be looking at like a Lars Nootbaar or Brendan Donovan, especially Brendan Donovan. 300 plus average, a little ISO, a high OPS, low K rate, you know. But I'm not. I'm just gonna go Sonny Gray in the list, because the game could be shortened. I'm not gonna list the card stacks and Tiger stacks, but it looks like this game should start fine and then go from there. So if you get there, you get there. I think right now I'm not. There's not enough like implied juice to go after for me. So I'll take a look at Sonny Gray. Let's go fill out our projection here. Let's go 17% for Montero. Sonny Gray, let's give him a 25% K rate. Walk rate here for Montero. So 10%, meet in the middle. Sonny Gray. 6%. We have outs for this game. Doesn't look like it. So I'm gonna make them up. Oh, is this a opener long reliever thing? Detroit. So they're starting with Gwenther, a lefty. All right, so that makes me even less inclined to get to Montero. But with that said, with Montero, 3, so I'm gonna give him like 13.5. We're not gonna play him. And then Sonny Gray all over the road, but I'll give him that 17.5. Has that been fair for his home games? Yeah, he's been much better at home. Let's go 13.5, 17.5. Not gonna boost him. Boosted. Ramos minus 105, Lee plus 130, Chapman plus. Man, you're just spitting out numbers. All right, let's move over to Coors. Rockies hosting the Phillies. Phillies with a 6.3 run total. Rockies a 4. We do have a confirmed Rockies lineup. Jordan Beck, Ezekiel Tovar, Hunter Goodman, Talia is batting cleanup. Brenton Doyle. But Doyle rules. Tyler Freeman. Ariel Amador. Jacob Stallings. Let's see what time we're on. Rockies 2, 3, 4 more games. If I ordered my lunch now, when I get here, it probably takes 30 minutes. I don't know. Let me queue it up so it can get here at like a decent time. I think it's some velvet taco, man. They went ham in the paint on me yesterday. I was like, dude, I might run that back tomorrow. Jesus. So Sanchez, interesting, right? 28% K rate. There was a time where we would get pessimistic about pitching a pitcher in cores, especially a pitcher that leans on a breaking ball, and that's his changeup, right? It's got a little do it. Throw that changeup 36% of the time, and because you guessed it, the Rockies are much better than you might think against the changeup. With that said, not really sure how to feel about that. The Rockies still suck. I know they had that explosion game on Zach Gallen of all people. I'm kind of on the fence. I do know we're gonna want some Phillies. Kyle Freeland, 17% K rate, 159 on the whip. Keeping lefties at bay, decent enough, 53% ground ball rate, elevated line drive rate. I'll say this: I'm getting to the Phillies out of default. You're putting the Phillies in cores, you're always going to stack the Phillies. It almost doesn't matter who they're going to be up against. But I can see a range of outcomes where Freeland just like is annoying. But the process is you're not going to look away from a 6.3 run total Phillies in cores field. But we still get Dodgers, still get D-backs coming up, so we're gonna go Phillies here. And that same vibe, I'm gonna go Chris Sanchez in the stack ranking or the interest ranking. One, because the AK is the Rockies. Anybody with a 24+% K rate, much less 28, against the Rockies, you gotta look at this season. But I don't love that his changeup is his bread and butter. And it might play a little different in cores, but man, Rockies are bad. So I'm going Phillies and Sanchez in the interest ranking, but understand it's not like maximum confidence. It's a process thing. And then we'll go Rockies as a hedge stack if that does kind of collapse. So let's go 28% K rate for Sanchez. Mr. Freeland, let's go 17%. Sanchez with a 8% walk rate. Freeland let's go 4%. Do some outs here. 17.5 for Sanchez. I don't know what we're getting on Freeland. Hmm. 6, 3, 6, 4. All right, I'm gonna give him 15.5 to get started. Yeah, Sanchez is really, really good. Velvet. Grilled steak bowl. This thing smacked yesterday. I'm gonna run that back. And if you guys have Uber Eats, they give you a free thing of queso with it, dude. Oh, let's get fat. I mean, that was a banger yesterday. It's 30 minutes, 18 to 30. I don't want to order it and then it gets here before I'm done. But it would be cool to have it queued up. So we have 2, 3. Next game, I'll hit the confirm order button, I guess. Ellen Sherman DK, you basically have to roll 1-3 Rockies. Yeah, it's a lot like the Zach. That Zach Gallen game was kind of a reminder on the basics of DFS. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird because on this slate, like you said, there's not like a ton of other upside pitching. I think Bubic will make a case here for it in a little bit, and I'm gonna go Castillo. But AK, I mean, the price discount in itself is just like, man. I mean, what are we doing with his price, by the way? Like, what is happening here? All right, let's move on to the next game here. Royals and the Giants. Orioles coming in with 3.6 run total. Up. Giants a 4. We got Chris Bubich taking on Robbie Ray. Some elite southpaws. Bubich a 26% K rate, essentially 25.5%. I'll say. He strikes out righties at a higher clip. Likely going to see all but one righty. So that's advantage him. A little reverse splits going. And then Robbie Ray, kind of the same, but not as insane. 27% K rate to righties. High walk rate. So we're interested in pitching right off the rip. But the thing against Robbie Ray is the Royals just not a strikeout team. The Giants can give you some strikeouts, so I'm in on Bubich. I think we would have Robbie Ray in the pool. Don't love the 10K price point with stifled ceiling likely, but we're there on that. Also, I like the Royals more against the lefty. Oh, we just got a bunch of lineups in too. I'm gonna go Bubich as the Lone Ranger here. Don't have much interest in the Giants. There's really not a weakness in Bubich. Like a lot of these pitchers, you could look at their, oh, he gives up some homers, but he's elite. Bubich doesn't give up homers. He puts balls into the ground or he strikes you out. So it's not gonna make me run towards a Giant stack here on an Oracle on this slate. I'm not. I have a little Royals interest. We'll go subby stack, and then Robbie. I don't even want to write Robbie's name. I just don't know that 10K gives me the ceiling I really want. But I guess he would be in the pool, so it's not fair to not write his name down. But he's there. Does Neto plus 390 fair enough price on the bomb detector? Neto. Neto, I come in at a 555, and the market representation is 390, so you're paying some tax on that. The highest value in the bomb detector that makes sense that I would ever look at. Matthew Lugo. I think he homered yesterday, and that's probably messing some stuff up. Let's see if he was a homer hitter in the minors. 4 bombs, 656 OPS. Might be a short sample. Yeah, three bombs and 25 at bats in the majors. 4 bombs and 151. So that might be a little fake. So I'm not gonna run towards that. Alec Thomas looks like he could have some value. Altuve is an interesting click. Talked about, I love the weather in that game, in that park. So yeah, back to that. Yeah, I can't get behind less than 4-1 or 400-1. Jesus, or 4, whatever. You get what I'm saying. 400. Did we put in a projection on these pictures? I don't think we did. All right, so Bubich. If he gets just one righty, I'm gonna give him some more. We give him a 26% K rate. Robbie Ray, give him a 26% walk rate here. 6.5. Robbie Ray. Ray be walking. Ray be walking. Women be shopping. All right, just place our order. Today I get to chill. I'm gonna chill in the house today. Probably, maybe, I don't know. And then the outs here are both at 17.5, maybe 17.5. Robbie Ray steamed up, like they're just like, yeah, he's gonna go. Maybe I'm sleeping on Robbie Ray. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm gonna give them both some points. Six, 6, 7, 7. All right, Colorado, whatever. Chicago and Arizona, I'll give them the love on that. Texas, well, you know, whatever. Sorry, what's our in-game results here? Good game log off of that. Stuff Plus has been not great in 3 of those 4 games, and like average against Arizona. XFIP has been good outside of the Chicago game. Maybe I'm sleeping on them. Maybe. Oh, but there's just, they don't strike out. I don't know. It's just like a not warm and fuzzy on the price play, you know. You got Robbie Ray at 6. Let's see if we give him 17.5. The spreadsheet gave me 5.46, man. That's why I'm like not running here, because it gives me 23.5 DraftKings points. I guess you get 20 plus. You got a puncher's chance at anything. I don't know. All right, Angels game. 4.8 run total. Athletics 5.5. Jose Soriano taking on JT Ginn. Back in such a, so we're getting the Rays Stadium hot. We're getting Coors. We're getting Sutter Health. We're getting D-backs and Dodgers. We definitely have some chances for upside today. Or big scores. Soriano a 19% K rate so far, 1.46 whip. JT Ginn 1.54 whip. Lefties are a problem for him so far in 13 innings. Last year they were a problem in more innings, 34. And then we know both of these bullpens are beatable, so this game could become a shootout, and we're immediately not interested in the pitching, but we are here on offenses, and we've seen some spark from both offenses. More so the Angels lately have been a pleasant surprise if you've been looking at them. Dodge Journey. So that's how we're gonna do that. I'm not even gonna split the atom on these pitchers. I'm gonna go 19% K rate for Soriano. JT Ginn, we're gonna go 24%. Actually, let's go 22, meet in the middle from last year. Let's go 10% walk rate. Ginn, let's go 8.5. I'd imagine we're just gonna lazily give them both 15. 17.5 for Soriano. That's kind of crazy. But I'm gonna go 15.5 here. With Ginn splits being favorable to lefties, Moncada can kind of dip in. Moncada for a while was giving me a solid fantasy point opportunity on PrizePicks, and it's still 5.5. If he's batting top 3, I'm in. We'll add him to the list. Moncada 5.5 FPS PP. But That's whatever. Prize picks. And then on the athletic side, to Soriano's credit, to play stat killer, extremely high ground ball rates sustained the last 3 seasons. So that could be one way to get around this ballpark and to get around athletic stack blowing up. But he does allow a higher average than most, and that's what happens when you're a ground ball pitcher. And he can walk people, and there's some stolen base potential in this lineup. So it's not a crazy thing. Be a little bit more intrigued by the Angels than the Athletics, but I'm here. We're getting to both of these teams in a blender, and I'm just not touching pitching. And that's all I got to say about that. What up, Don? Can I help you out? I'm trying. Yeah, Soriano just kind of eating some innings here. Not getting smoked. Yeah, Gidd's ground ball rate is high too, but he does allow homers so far. It is small sample though. Let's look at again what his ground ball to air out in ground out to air out in the minors was. Let's go Splitty. Let's go last year, I guess. Yeah, he was a big time ground ball pitcher in the minors as well, but 10 homers and 56 at bats to lefties last year, or 56 innings. God dang, I need to eat. And then 7 to 78. So while they are both ground ball pitchers, he's more susceptible to giving up homers, especially in his pedigree to lefties from last year. And that's something we see so far in the major leagues. But the Angels aren't that lefty. You got Rengifo, Daniel, and Makata's the guy for me here if I want to take advantage of that. So otherwise, atypical to righties, but he's not immune to homers to righties either. So yeah, both ground ball pitchers for sure. But one guy's a little bit more live to give up bombs. Yeah, I liked McCuster. We looked at him, especially against a contact pitcher. All right, we got one game left on the docket. After this, we're gonna go update some lineups and visit anything you guys want to visit. We gotta get a plug out the way. If you guys want access to the spreadsheet, what we've been updating throughout the duration of this stream, the projections, the stack ratings, the bomb detector, all that is behind the paywall at MLBgrind.com. Click premium memberships. There's week pass, month pass, and you can lock in for the rest of the season. That'll unlock 2 links: a link to the spreadsheet, one to the MLB Grind Discord. If you jump in the Discord, you'll get the alerts channel, which is a little bit more convenient if you don't like to consistently check your phone for Twitter or refreshing your page, whatever. We got a news channel that's going to give you mostly Underdog MLB tweets with the lineups coming out. We got the home run alerts if you want to sweat the slate live, some barrel alerts so you can understand if you're getting unlucky, and then stolen base alerts and all that good stuff. So it's a cool little thing. James Outman option to AAA by the Dodgers. So good way to support the stream, support the site, get a little something in return. Yo, Pojan, what the $2 dono, $2 will make you holla. I don't know why I got a stack of singles right here, but I'll say that 2 of these dollars are now from Pojan. Yeah, for the Ghost Fund, and I got plenty of those sitting around here too. Look at that. Look at that. We got. I feel like fat Stone Cold. But somebody get me a ghost. One ghost. What? Appreciate that, Pojen. That's love. Main event tonight, D-backs and the Dodgers. We got Brandon Pfaadt taking on Landon Knack. 4.7 run total. Oh, my food's on the way. For the D-backs, 5.5 for the Dodgers. We might even have to step away, grab the food, and then come back, but we should be all right. FOD has a 20% K rate so far this season, allowing a lot of power. And a lot of power to lefties, and that's a problem. High line drive rate, high hard contact rate, and high home run per 9. So Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, all these guys gonna keep looking great. Both these teams look good. The D-backs bullpen, very beatable as well. The Dodgers will top our interest ranking here, and then D-backs against Landon Knack will also be something we're curious with. Results wise, Landon Knack has a 30% K rate to lefties, 231 average, keeping him at bay in the park, but he is walking them, and he does have a high line drive rate allowed. He is really struggling with righties, a 324 average allowed this season to righties, a 17% K rate, 235 home run per 9, and that screams at Eugenio Suarez, who, if you could ever neutralize his K rate, has some power. 820 OPS since the beginning of last year against righties, a 252 ISO, but the 1-4 K rate kind of holds him back against good pitchers, but that's not the case here against Landon Knack, who has just a 16.7% K rate this season against righties. So this is a good spot for him, and I think he came in at the top of the bomb detector. Not at the top, but he's up there, right? Number 2 behind Shohei. And he's only, the books are there on him too, right? 250 on Fanduel at the top of the stream, where we were looking for 444 as like fair odds. So this is an offense game. We're hardly ever pitching against either one of these teams with good pitchers, and both of these pitchers have a little to be desired. 5.63 expected ERA, going against a 5 expected ERA with 2 of the juggernauts of the National League, but in a division rivalry game as well. Everyone's going to be bringing it, right? So let's go pitcher projection here. Let's go 20%. Landon Knack at 24%. Walk rate here for 5.5. And for Knack, go 9%. Get our outs 14.5. So we'll give Knack 15 and 16.5. And that's that. Dollar Tree got Go Fuel. I don't know what that is. All these fly-by-night energy drinks. All right, let's update our projections tab for the Vipers. Castillo comes in at the top. Chris Bubich, Chris Sanchez, Robbie Ray, Sonny Gray. Remember, weather there. And then it gets really ugly really fast. Then we'll go stack rating. We'll make this easier by just getting rid of the 3 early games. Chicago. Actually, it's not Chicago. Dude, I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't feel like I ever struggled with this, but I feel like once a day, I guess it would have been Chicago anyway. The Cubs logo and the Cincinnati Reds logo just gets me, dude. I don't know what, I'm just old and senile now, but I keep mixing them up. The Big Red C. What I'm talking about. This C versus this C. It's clearly different, but my brain has struggled to make that distinguishment this season. All right, get your projection stack rating. I guess we can move that over here. Got a couple of lineups to get in. Marlins and Cubs. Marlins lineup came out. Sanchez, Ramirez. Oh, we did update this. We just didn't greenlight it. Mets lineup is out. Frankie Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, Vientos, Beatty. You're Jeff McNeely. No. Sweep the main slate. God, I hate the Orioles, but here we are. Jackson Holiday, Mountcastle, Henderson, Laureano, batting cleanup. Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Urias, Cedric Mullins, Dylan Carlson, Maverick Hanley. That's a great name. I mean, that's just a great name. Mariners lineup out. We got Crawford, Polanco, J-Rod, Raleigh, Rosarena, Rowdy, Tavares, Dylan Moore, no Masterboni, Williamson, green like that. Guardians lineup, Quan, Angel Martinez, J-Ram, Mazzardo, Santana, Dylan Jones. Was Santana ever a twin? My brain wants to tell me yes. But maybe I got him mixed up with like Nelson Cruz or something. I don't know. Like he's been around for a while. Carlos Santana career. Cleveland. No, it's been pretty Cleveland, Philly. Hey, it was a twin. Dude, this thing, I don't know how this works, but it works. Twins. Jeffers, Lee, Royce, Lewis. You're like a beautiful mind. Carson McCuster, higher in the order than initially thought. Nice. Hey, did we get a Carson McCuster fantasy line? The rain is a little scary possibly, but just out of curiosity. No, he's not even, he doesn't exist. Tigers, Carpenter, Glaber, Colt, Riley, Spencer, McKinstry, Trey Sweeney, Dylan Dingala. Akil Badu. Green light. Ars Nupar. We'll make a 6-pick card, I guess. Little 5 ski. Anybody wanna lose $5 in solidarity with me? Pedro Paez. Phillies. All right, we are completely caught up on lineups. Gonna open for Priester. Okay. Well, I don't think that changes the out projection, but it would remove any we were never giving him bonus points, but obviously he couldn't be eligible for a quality start. All right, so let's hide that. Let's resort the bomb detector. Resort our pitcher projections. Oh, these projections are dynamic based on the actual lineups, guys. It's not static. And the only game I made a weather boost for was Tampa. I don't think I'm missing anything as far as weather boost goes. Unless Sacramento's crazy. We'll go with that. But yeah, it is a good call. So in our notes, we have these hitters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6. We got 6 guys we could bet on. We say we just do that. We do those 6, and I might get creative later, but everybody's looking for a card to co-sweat. I will say Gunnar Henderson has like never come through for me ever. But every day, looking like a snack. Al Tucker, 8.5. Holiday. On holiday. Blanco. And it's either, for me, it's either Moncada or Edward Cabrera first inning pitches over. I think let's do that. That correlates with what we're sweating anyway, right? Cabrera against Chicago, since we got 2 guys. So let's do that. Let's do a little 5 ski power play or $120. So if anybody wants to run that with me, we'll go Gunner, Pete Crow, Armstrong. So basically Armstrong, Tucker, fantasy points immediately correlating with Cabrera's first inning 16.5 pitches. And the justification behind that is he's a wild non-strike thrower, right? 10+% walk rate to lefties, high average, high power allowed, and he also struggles with throwing strikes against righties. You look at the Cubs lineup, a lot of high walk rates. So I might run that twice, one with Moncada, one without, but that's what we'll do as our little stream 6 picker. Right, so let's get that in, $5 and GG. All right, guys, my lunch is here. We are through this slate. We're gonna be back tomorrow. I kind of like that 1:30 my time, 2:30 Eastern. So let's try that again tomorrow. And otherwise, I'll be in the Discord. I'll be around the desk pretty much all night tonight. But I'm about to stuff my face with. Oh, I got packages here too. With some velvet taco, man. Appreciate you guys. I think my boy Terry's probably still alive. So if you guys want to continue the baseball, yeah, he is.
And see,
yeah, the homie. I'll spam his link in the chat. You guys want some more baseball noise? Go check him out. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Tell somebody you love them. I love you. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.